Pardon me, y'all. Pardon me. That should be the last time. That should be the last time I use Lula again. That's what it should be. Lula TV. Like, like really. Um, Wait till I see some folks. Okay. All right. Some folks trying to come in. Okay. Y'all coming back in. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap it up on this one. But when we saw Dave Chappelle, at first he was okay with how he got that money from Dave Chappelle show, and then it needed him to utilize his star power. He understood that he needed to use his star power when he got on Netflix, and they was going to take his folk, but he was prepared to silence people, at the same time, and because he felt like essentially felt like the LGBTQ plus IA plus community, essentially was getting too much, getting too loud and pushing through and saying what they need. I don't care when people push through. I'm a different animal. People say these things and they say that it's okay to kind of push back, and they are right. They like when you shine, but really they don't. Sometimes, a lot of times, oftentimes, you know, um, they don't. So so because they were pushing back, Dave Chappelle was against that, and I'm not gonna go too deep into that situation. I am gonna go into number. Oh, I didn't finish with number six. I didn't finish with number six. We were still talking about finances in the community, and talking about building, and then we'll go to number seven. So we still on number six. We talking about the finances. Definitely, since we talking about finances, definitely support my book. Y'all know I got Brother Vegan coming out in February. Support unapologetically Black folks. We know you want to support other folks who don't push the envelope. But support folks that push the envelope. All the time. And don't and make it a habit. Make it a habit. And yes, make definitely make that a habit. That doesn't mean don't support other Black folks. Okay, just so we clear. So support. Use your funds, your resources to make those changes. So I'm gonna go into number seven, and then I'm gonna give y'all an incredible example of where I would get that kind of support from Black women, especially those who happen to be womenists. But I want to go into to media. We talking about white media, right? Number seven, white vegans, animal rights activists, media, and press must cease in using Black lives to push business agendas and white cultural progression over Black lives. That is white supremacy. Allyship and being accomplices means there is a commitment from white media to ending any and all racist propaganda and listening to Black animal rights activists articulate the true function of vegan intersectionality. That means to listen to us. When you're still listening to those folks, but it's also saying utilize your medium to challenge systems. Utilize your media, to challenge your system. Um, don't just, be comfortable with the status quo. Don't just wait for somebody to, get killed. Like some of y'all waiting for people to get killed and for y'all to start supporting folks who do this work on a consistent basis. And that's not right. You put that stress and that strain on that particular community to do that work that we already know that we have to do that. We have to do that to exist. Simple as that. And this elder and critique. You would want critique, right? There was this elder who I worked for. She was a supervisor working in an elected official's office, in the Bronx, and she was amazing because she had critiqued me, and I mean like down to the element, like to how I was dressed, and there, and I was like, talking about like because really I just kind of roll and respect people, and then there's whole people that respect me, but I don't wait for it. I'm gonna tell you, if you're not respecting me, and then also I'm gonna build up, to the space where I'm not gonna be disrespected. I'm also gonna protect that, that respect, as well. But criticism, I don't want to allow, criticism to escape from me being able to listen to that, because that's valuable information. It's intel for me to learn how to better and to constantly develop myself. Once you try it, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. But you have to be able to have a conversation with folks, and you first have to listen. So key. And so Carolyn, came and said I was disheveled. Because I'm not dressing up, like that. I mean, of course, I had to have my slacks on working in an elected official's office, but she was like down to everything. And my work, as well, had to be there and still for that. As black women go in and go in this and go to this point. Now, of course, when she's saying this and leveling this critique at me, I'm not even trying to really take it like that. I didn't go back and forth with her. I mean, she was my supervisor. For goddamn, for goodness sake, a good thing that she was, because I probably was not there at that level as I was only in my 20s, early 20s. And when you're in your early 20s, you really don't, you ain't going to be still for critique, oftentimes. And then people have to be real creative in how they give it to you. Well, don't work for her. You know what I'm saying? Because she gonna straight up and tell you. So she told me, it was like down to the clothes, everything, so on and so. Because I am representing an elected official. What I understood it now, every single damn thing she said was on point. She was correct. Just because people critique your ass, it don't mean that you need to go ahead and fight it. You need. Sometimes people critique you, incorrectly. They're wrong, but you at least got to take the information and know that it's coming from a space of love. Now, I understood that because she's the one that hired me. So I already knew it wasn't somebody else who had hired me. Now I kind of lost this gain of wisdom. I would have lost this gain of wisdom had somebody else hired me, and I'd have been thinking I would have been in the fantasy world like, nah, that's because such and such hired me, and or somebody over you, and we let meaningless shit get in the way of stopping critique. You got to be there for it all. Or you know what I mean? You gotta really be there and for that all, and trust it. Even as I'm saying it, it's still, you still work at it every single time, all the time, because people got emotions. You know what I'm saying? We human, and we have emotions. And that's why I have to get, I had to work out and I had to train. You know what I'm saying? Because people got emotions, you know. But sure enough, I got on my grizzy and did better, way better. And she came back to me and be like, you improved. For her to be able to see me long term and see me, do the work, and then come back and say, I saw you when you were like, you didn't know what you were doing it wrong. I had explained it to you. Basically, it said, oh, you did. And it took a while too. So she had to wait back. It wasn't like some weeks, you know what I mean? It was several months, going in. And I had to really, really strive, at that particular time. My daughter was only one, that was where I wanted to be at that time. I was going to school for political science. I was able to work with elected officials, and it was, I was doing quality work. It wasn't even the title, it was coordinator of special service, but it wasn't titled. It was that they was giving me actual work, like working on constituent issues. Like, okay, somebody coming in, they want to leave this particular school, they have an issue. Somebody was inappropriately, somebody ain't, and paying, somebody coming in there and they got several kids and they need resources. Their light's going to be taken off. Somebody, you're going to have to call a judge. You're going to have to, real work. Real work. Somebody needs this resource, that resource. You got to go over here to teach, how a bill becomes a law. Go to this, and make a report here, write a speech. Every single thing had to be on point, and I appreciate her for even taking that time to see my resume and being like, oh, let me get this brother over here, regular hood dude right in the community. You know what I'm saying? Come on in here. I see you gave us your resume like 5, 6 months ago. And then when it was, and when I even wanted to, but I also understood how to really respect that. Understand where I'm at with this when I'm talking about criticism and being able to hold critique. You know, when I was, when I had to write a prompt, I had to go through some steps to get this job now. And then I had to meet of course, the elected official. I'm not gonna say who it is. So some of y'all know me, then, y'all would know. But she's since retired and had been in there. I had been a senior elected official, for a long time. New York State Assembly. So it's literally the smallest elected official, job where you get paid. It's not the smallest, space for elected officials, but for ones that actually get paid, you know, um, well, because the constituency, you talking about is very small. You talking about 150,000 people. You know, that it grows to. Particularly in New York City. Now they might tell you got about 40,000, 50,000. They don't understand the census like that, and I'm not about to go into it. But you talking about some cramped, apartments, in very saturated, situation. We were in the poorest congressional district in the nation, and I worked there the entire 6 years that I was there. I mean, like people, it's like you couldn't help everybody, But that's what the job. That's what the job. You know what I mean? Was, and I was told that, and then Carolyn had made that that space where if I had issues before I'm going to the elected official, I'm going to her. Now I can go to the elected official, but I respect protocol. I'm always going to respect protocol. No matter how much you see me out here, I always respect the protocol. I bang the protocol out to the top. I bang the protocol out to the top, all the time. People got to learn that. It's called seniority. It's called, respecting it. If you don't have that in particular work, then you just have a crazy structure. Who said you could just go to the top just like that? You know what I mean? That's some, like, goddamn, like you really, you trying to really, really act like a boss right now. You know what I mean? Work your way up. So I want to give that. I want to give that gift since I'm giving gifts right here. And what I want to do is make sure that folks understand 7 points of allyship is on blackvegfest.org. It's on our page. It's for white folks to sign up, and for white folks to sign up, bring your resources and make sure they count it, do the work, but don't do just the performative work. Because sometimes y'all, say y'all perform. A lot of times, most of the time, y'all perform. And then we might be okay with the performing. You know what I mean? You want everybody to know. All right, you're doing work. I can understand that. I'm still going to say it's it's performative work. I'm still going to say it's performative work. But because it is, and we perform, and folks perform all the time. We want people to know that we're doing the work. You always want people to know that you're doing the work, that you're there and you're visible. So I see you when you say that you're doing this. Yes, I'm able to see. Okay, all right. So this person right here is listening. This person is, so it do give me information. So we don't put you at the same. Right, it's different levels. It's levels to it, It's levels to your supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Your white supremacy. It's levels to it. Um, and how you vanguard it, because honestly, I mean, you could give a whole lot more resources, really, for these particular programs. There's also these programs that we have at blackvegfest.org that we building. We do Black Veg Fest. We're doing these spaces now that have to be virtual. So we're still going to need support for those spaces. We do this work with the schools. We need that type of that support. We're building this retreat center, this organizing space to build up organizers. So folks that do that same work, so they get this education, they get this knowledge, and this is going to be so much of a resource. The teach is going to teach with folks who are so hands-on in this digital age right now. Some kids are going to be cultivated and getting their information on the screen if they're not already doing that. I'm analog, baby, and I'm right in. I'm in your face, and hands on, and not afraid to do it, not afraid to make mistakes. Do that. I definitely want to do one on that. For young people to make mistakes. So I'm gonna end with giving a shout out to my children, to my daughters, Rain, Aziza, and my son, Chisore, who I want to allow them to make educated, mistakes and be able to make that, those kind of errors and those in those spaces and be prepared to get critique. My daughter's the professor. She's professed, supporter, understanding that she's black. She's a black woman, and also in understanding other genders. I see it and how she moves and also how she has her voice is distinct from her father. She has her own distinct voice and the way that she moves, and you gotta support that. You know what I mean? At a time, and still sometimes I'm like, nah, I don't want you to do that because I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to do that because I don't want you to I've seen that but sometimes you gotta let them kind of they fall, but you don't want them to fall too much. So you be like this, you be like I don't know if I want you to get that lesson, and but she does an excellent job, and she still I'm talking about my 19-year-old Rain wants me to, speak on particular things and allow her to just, grow. She listened. I love that aspect that she listens, and I don't know. My daughters listen, and what I mean. And I be telling people this all the time. Like women is to listen to you, and they both, I see they both feminists. I'm telling you, you know what I mean. Well, my son, he don't listen. I'm be telling dudes, I'm like, yo, you don't just think that, you know what I mean? The folks to be understand and respect their identity, that they don't listen. Don't assume that. You know what I mean? Don't put folks in these particular spaces and in these boxes, you know. Just like that, you gotta challenge any and all things, and you gotta start with this power structure. That's why we're gonna start with the white supremacist men, you know what I mean, and call them out, consistently. Consistent. I'm going to do it consistently. And because it needs to be done. And if we're not doing it, then what's going? I had some people saying that they would rather just do it. Tell white folks to go read a book. Man, I don't know what book they reading, man. But that's y'all ain't logical, man. That's because it should change all the time. It change all the time. So I'm not about to tell you I just go read a book. I'm like, nah, that's crazy talk. What? Nah, man, you better listen to what I'm telling you to do. Hell no, I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you how to respect me. How to support me. I tell you that. It's work for other folks, for the other black folks, but I'll make sure I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Do I understand that it is work? It is work to make these strawberry banana pancakes that I made. I want to finish it with that because and I just show you in the pan. Uh, y'all had me burn one of them, but you see how fluffy they are. You see how they look. Listen, I'm telling you, you could do vegan pancakes. You can do vegan pancakes. And if you can't.